Hello and welcome back to the channel, guys. The topic for this video is going to be how to choose the perfect motorcycle for you. If you are out there in the market, there are many options to consider if you are buying a new motorcycle. It can be very confusing to choose the best motorcycle for you amongst all the alternative options. But stick till the very end of the video and you will be able to choose the best motorcycle for you. But guys, before we get into this video, if at any point you like what you see, please make sure that you hit the like button and also subscribe to the channel for some unique motorcycling content as well as MotoGP content. So guys, the first point is going to be test ride the motorcycle. Guys, what happens is sometimes people look at their favorite reviewer on YouTube or they read about a review in the magazine and they say that yes, this is the motorcycle that I'm going to go for. But what they do not do is actually take a test ride of the motorcycle. This, in my opinion, is the worst thing you can do. The reviewer reviews a lot of motorcycles and his opinion and your opinion could be different. These are two different people that we are talking about right now. So you just cannot take the reviewer's word to be 100% true and apply it in your case. I'm not saying that the reviewer is wrong or anything, but you have to take a motorcycle that suits your taste, that suits your personality. And sometimes the motorcycle that the reviewer tells you is just not the right motorcycle for you. So make sure, guys, before you buy any new motorcycle that you test ride it and then and only then you make the final decision. So guys, the next point is going to be to determine if you're a beginner or an experienced rider. This is one of the most important points that is not talked about enough. If you are someone who has just got his license, then you can look at the 100 to 250cc options as your first motorcycle. There are many options from various brands to choose from in this range. 150 to 250cc, in my opinion, is the sweet spot for a beginner rider. But what if you jump directly to a higher displacement motorcycle? Well, you can. People certainly do that, and you eventually will get used to the motorcycle. But your skills have not developed enough to handle all the power that is put out. So it's always better to begin from a lower displacement motorcycle to get used to the motorcycle and to learn certain things that you need to do. But if you have spent a few years on the beginner motorcycle and you think that yes, I know how to ride a motorcycle properly and all is good, then you can definitely upgrade to a 300 to 600 or even 700cc motorcycle, and a lot of fun and a lot of thrill is certainly waiting for you. So the next point is going to be your budget. This point is pretty self-explanatory, but there is an interesting twist to this point that I'll mention in the end. So to begin with, obviously, you have to first fix a budget for your purchase. Also, you have to make sure to see how flexible you are with your budget, because certain motorcycle variants cost more and that means you could spend more. For example, if a motorcycle variant is telling you to spend a little more extra for dual channel ABS, I feel you should go ahead and definitely do that. Also, you have to see if you are going to pay for the motorcycle upfront or opt for a loan scheme, and that is something that a buyer decides on a personal level. Even if you are going for a loan scheme, make sure you do not go too overboard with your purchase. Now let's talk about the twist that I was initially saying. Now let's take an example. You want to buy a brand new R15 V4 which will set you back by almost 2 lakh plus rupees on road. But now if you spend the same money in the second hand market, you can get a Duke 390 or an RC 390 in the same budget, which is so much more motorcycle for the same amount of money. But it has its own complication, because you have to make sure that you get a good motorcycle and not a damaged one. If you are okay with the second hand market, sure, you could go ahead and you can actually find an authorized second hand dealer and buy it, or you can actually buy it from a close relative or a friend to avoid scams. Also guys, if you want to do this second hand option, make sure you take with you a friend who understands motorcycles, so that you make sure that you're not getting conned, because certain motorcycles in the second hand market could have something damaged or something's not right with it, or there are additional expenses attached to it, and if you do not be careful while looking out for these flaws, you can actually get scammed. But some people do not like the idea of a pre-owned product, and that's completely okay. I understand. But if your budget is very tight, make sure you also look at the second hand market, in my honest opinion. So the next is going to be your use case scenario. This is really important. Make sure you buy a motorcycle that fits your use case scenario. If all you want to do is commute in the city from work to home or home to work, and you buy an RC 390 for that, that would be a stupid decision. And yes, I am the person who has made that stupid decision. Just kidding, guys. I did that because I genuinely like the RC390 very much. But now I feel that the Duke 390 could have actually fulfilled my needs in a much better way. But I had always been a fan of fed motorcycles, hence I went the RC way. But guys, do make sure that you actually take a closer look at your use case scenario, because it's pointless to buy a big bike and be stuck with it in the traffic all day long. Go for relaxed seating posture motorcycles that have more torque for a city commute, and go and buy an adventure tourer or a cruiser if you want to ride long distances and cover a lot of miles on the highway. Also, when identifying your use case scenario, do make sure that you take into account any other body ailment you have. For example, you could be having a back issue. In that case, avoid a motorcycle which has a committed riding position that puts a lot of strain on your back or any other part that is going to affect you in the future. Technically, if you see any motorcycle, it can be used to do anything. For example, you can tour on a super sport. Yes, your back will be sore for a while and it won't be comfortable, but you can surely do it. You can also take an adventure motorcycle like the Himalayas to enjoy the corners, though it's not its strongest point. Motorcycles are very versatile, but to have an easier day and to have an easier life on the motorcycle, it is essential to identify your use case scenario and choose the motorcycle accordingly. Our next point is going to be after sales service. After sales service is a very important factor you need to know before buying a motorcycle. Now, after sales service depends upon which brand of motorcycle you go for as well as where you live. If you want to buy a premium Honda motorcycle, you have to buy it from their big wing dealership, and they are found mostly in the metros, and there are not many showrooms to begin with. So if you live in a rural area, it's automatically going to be a task to get your motorcycle serviced. If you are okay to travel to the dealership every time for service, then go ahead, buy the motorcycle. But if you want to be able to go to the city or dealership all the time, then you have to look elsewhere. Then on the other hand, if you look at the Royal Enfield motorcycles, the dealerships are easily available and you can buy and service them very easily. RE motorcycles are motorcycles that are known to be easily serviced by almost any service center, and because of their ease when it comes to service, people actually do prefer this motorcycle. Also guys, you have to see the availability of spare parts. If it is a motorcycle that is, something like a big wing showroom motorcycle, the spare parts are not easily available. But if it's an RE motorcycle, you know that the spare parts are going to be very easily available. So keep in mind that also before you buy a new motorcycle. And the last point is going to be additional expenses. Being able to afford a motorcycle is not as easy as paying the on-road price and being done with it. You also have to take into account the fuel expenses that will come along. The more expensive the motorcycle, the more repair cost or maintenance cost you will have to bear. Miscellaneous expenses can come at any point and you have to be ready to bear the burden. You never know when things will go wrong, and it's really not right to buy a motorcycle and keep it parked because you cannot afford to repair it or take care of it properly. So make sure that once you're buying a motorcycle, you have enough money lying around to repair the motorcycle, to bear its fuel prices, to do whatever is needed for it to be in tip-top working condition. Just buying a motorcycle and paying the on-road price and ignoring the after-sales issues and whatever things is not right. So guys, that was it for this video. I hope you got a complete buying guide, what you need to be aware of before buying a new motorcycle. If you like the video guys, make sure you hit the like button. If you dislike the video, hit the dislike button twice. Also guys, if you're new to my channel, please do not forget to hit the subscribe button, ding the notification bell, and I'll see you guys in the next video.